Ever hear about scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, but wonder what they actually mean? It might sound technical, but it's really just a way to categorize a company's carbon footprint, from what they directly control to the emissions hidden in their supply chain. And if businesses are serious about reducing their impact, they need to understand all three. Let's break it down. Scope 1 emissions are the direct emissions from business operations. That's fuel burned on site, company-owned vehicles, and anything that physically releases CO2 into the air. If a company owns or controls the source, it falls under Scope 1. Scope 2 emissions come from purchased energy, things like electricity, heating, or cooling. A company might not burn the fuel themselves, but they still rely on energy sources that do. The cleaner the grid, the lower the Scope 2 emissions. That's why switching to renewables can make such a big difference. And then there's Scope 3, often the biggest and most complex category. These are indirect emissions from everything else: the supply chain, employee commuting, business travel, and even what happens when a product is used or disposed of. For many companies, Scope 3 makes up over 70% of their total emissions. But because they don't control it directly, it is also the hardest to measure and reduce. So why does this matter? Because if businesses only track Scope 1 and 2, they are missing the bigger picture. A company might have low in-house emissions, but still contribute to a huge carbon footprint through suppliers, logistics, and product use. That's why more businesses and investors are looking at full supply chain emissions. Reporting on Scope 1, 2, and 3 together gives the clearest picture of a company's real climate impact. Tracking all three scopes doesn't have to be complicated, especially with the right tools. Carbon Central, Novik Tech's flagship platform, gives businesses the tools to turn operational data into traceable, verifiable emissions records. Start by adding your projects. Whether you're tracking emissions, managing sustainability initiatives, or ensuring compliance, Carbon Central keeps everything organized in one place. Then, bring your data to life with digital twins. Carbon Central builds a live, data-backed model of your operations using the systems, meters, or uploads you already have. Track energy use, carbon intensity, and emissions in real time, or simulate operations and calculate impact before launch. Next, turn verified data into digital assets with tokenization. Using Carbon Central's trust chain, every unit of carbon produced or offset, every liter of green fuel tracked is recorded on an immutable timeline. This ensures transparency, security, and trust in every transaction. And finally, transform all that data into action with reports. Generate auditable, compliant reports in seconds, proving your progress to regulators, investors, and partners. Because tracking emissions is one thing, proving progress? That's what really matters.